One night, the people of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, were sleeping peacefully. The streets were quiet, the lights were off, and inside one small house, a father sat alone, staring at his children. A man who once wore a prison guard's uniform. A man who said he loved his family more than anything in the world. But that night, something inside him broke. Within hours, 13 people would be dead. 5 of them, his own children. And when the police finally arrested him, he calmly said, "I saved them from a racist world." But what police found next changed everything. Part 1. The Man Who Snapped. George Banks was born in 1942 in Pennsylvania. He grew up biracial. His father was black, his mother white, and that fact followed him like a shadow his entire life. People called him names. He was bullied, rejected, and angry, but George was smart. He joined the military, became a prison guard, and for a while, life looked normal. He had multiple partners, all white women, and fathered several children with them. To the outside world, it looked like a big blended family, but inside his head, it was chaos. He began believing the government was watching him, that his neighbors were plotting against him, and that his children would grow up to be hated because of their race. And one September night, that paranoia turned into bloodshed. Part 2. The Night of the Massacre. It was just after midnight on September 25th, 1982. George Banks had been drinking heavily and mixing alcohol with prescription drugs. He loaded his AR-15 semi-automatic rifle, walked into the bedroom, and pointed it at the people he once swore to protect. He killed Joanne Brown, one of his partners, and their 3 children. Then Dorothy Lyons and her daughter, Nancy. He even shot Regina Clemens, another girlfriend, and her kids. No one was spared. By the time the shooting stopped, 13 people lay dead, including 5 of his own children, aged between 1 and 7. But he wasn't done yet. He got into his car, drove to the Heather Highlands trailer park, and opened fire again, killing 2 more people, wounding several others. Police reports say neighbors woke up to screams and gunfire echoing through the park. One survivor later said, "He looked like he was on a mission, like he had already made peace with dying." But George Banks didn't die that night. He surrendered. And the reason he gave for his massacre left investigators stunned. Part 3. His reason. When police surrounded his house, Banks stood by the window with the rifle in hand. 4 tense hours passed before he walked out, calm, emotionless, covered in blood. When officers asked him why he killed his own family, he said, "I didn't want my children to suffer in this racist world. I saved them." To him, it wasn't murder, it was mercy. He truly believed he was doing something good. Psychologists would later diagnose him with paranoid schizophrenia. He believed the apocalypse was coming, that demons were inside his home, and that killing his family was the only way to protect them. But the jury didn't see it that way. They saw cold-blooded murder. Part 4. The Trial and Sentence. In 1983, George Banks faced 12 counts of first-degree murder. The courtroom was packed. Families, reporters, even psychologists wanted to understand the mind behind the massacre. He showed no emotion when the jury found him guilty. He was sentenced to death by lethal injection. But over the years, something strange happened. Every time an execution date was set, his lawyers appealed. They claimed Banks was too mentally ill to be executed. Doctors said he thought he was already dead, living in some kind of purgatory. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court eventually agreed he is not mentally competent for execution, so the death penalty was never carried out. And for the next 43 years, George Banks would live alone, haunted by the ghosts of his victims. Part 5. The Final Chapter. Decades passed. The world forgot his name. But inside a Pennsylvania prison cell, George Banks aged. Quietly, slowly, surrounded by the echoes of the past. On November 2nd, 2025, he died of kidney cancer at the age of 83. After 4 decades behind bars, the man who destroyed his entire family took his final breath alone. There was no funeral, no public statement, no remorse. Just a notice. Inmate number AX0839, deceased. George Banks's story isn't just about murder. It's about a man consumed by fear, anger, and delusion. A man who believed the world was too cruel for his children and became the very monster he feared. What do you think? Was George Banks truly insane or just evil? Let me know in the comments. Goodbye.